Hi everyone, I'm Kadiva Devine and welcome to 12 News Weekend. Every week we take a look back at some of the best stories from our 12 News journalists, stories that inspire, inform, and impact our community. Coming up on today's show, the Arizona Cardinals are heading into their bye week after another tough loss. What fans can expect when the season picks back up, so we'll have a preview of that. Plus, meet an inspiring Arizona kid on a mission to collect toys for foster children. His story is also coming up, but we're going to start with hundreds lining up outside of the Valley's newest discount furniture store. 12 News reporter Kyle Simchuk has the story.
The doors opened at 10 a.m., but for some shoppers, the wait started much earlier.
Well, I'm looking for patio furniture. I got a new house and I have to put a lot of stuff in it.
Aaron Steecher got in line at 8:30 and says this deal was too good to pass up.
And when they say it's right here, 50% off, gotta come in.
Second in line, Carol Werner and her daughter. They were on a mission too.
I'm looking mostly for wall art, like wall decor for my home office.
And they weren't alone.
I saw it on TikTok, actually, and I was like, uh-oh, I got to take the day off of work because we're going to Wayfair. My husband told me no, but I'm going to go for it.
I don't need anything, but the store will tell me what I need.
I'm testing this couch out while my wife and daughter shop.
The new store near Chandler Boulevard in the 101 is Wayfair's first outlet in the Southwest, filled with returned or overstocked items that have been inspected, tested, and marked down.
What customers can expect is a treasure hunt experience. So as you can see, everyone's walking around trying to find the best fit. So we have everything from sectionals to accent chairs to outdoor seasonal stuff. We have a lot of artwork. Great selection of rugs.
Wayfair says the goal is to cut down on waste while giving shoppers a chance to see and touch the products they've only ever scrolled past online.
We assess the product quality and then we decide what we want to resell versus not. So this is one way that we're trying to reduce waste within our supply chain as well.
The deals aren't just grand opening gimmicks. All items are 50% off for the foreseeable future.
And we go up to 80% off some weekends.
So whether you're hunting for a couch, some wall art, or just need an excuse to skip work.
Don't tell anyone I'm here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be at work.
Wayfair's new outlet in Chandler is open for treasure hunters.
There's so much to take in. I'm overwhelmed right now.
Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Laker Jackson is an 8th grader at Eastmark High School who loves sports.
I really like basketball and football because it's the entire team working together.
The 14-year-old has played on school teams in the past.
I wrestled there and I played flag football last year.
But there's nothing he's wanted more than to play on this year's basketball team.
Wasn't able to make it last year. And so I just remember him coming to me. First time I seen him cry about sports.
He has spent almost every day since practicing and training.
Actually played a whole season during the summer. And he was able to participate on that team and played really well.
Waiting for this year's tryouts, only to be told by Eastmark High School officials the day before they began he could only try out for the girls' team.
We've been involved in this school district for over 20 years. We've been, so it's really is disheartening to think that you can be involved in something and feel like, it's your community, and then all of a sudden it just turns against you.
It's because 14 years ago, the gender on his birth certificate was mistakenly marked as female.
When I was young, apparently messed it up, put it down as a girl, but I was born a boy, and it's a big complication.
My youngest of 6 kids, I've done this a lot of times. The gender marker is not something I looked at. Let me make sure the time and date that he was born were right, and then I just put it in my, the safe box where I have all the other kids' birth certificates and moved on. And I wasn't even aware that it said that he was a female until we went to register him at school in the Queen Creek School District.
It never was an issue.
He tried out for the boys' basketball team in the fall, and nothing came up.
Laker's mom, though, says after conversations with school officials in the spring, she began the lengthy process to get it corrected, even taking Laker in July to a board-certified doctor to be examined. With a new birth certificate and other documentation, Laker went to tryouts only to be escorted out.
Poor Laker sitting there, and I'm trying to hold tears back. I feel like, my kid just got carted out in front of all of his friends and embarrassed and not being able to try out.
In a statement to 12 News, Queen Creek Unified School District writes the student has been enrolled in QCUSD since elementary school and has been registered as a biological female. Our schools rely on a student's original birth certificate at birth to determine athletic eligibility.
For me, it feels like something bigger than just my son getting to do what he needs to do, and we're actually now fighting against some other political cause that we have nothing to do with.
With tryouts now over,
It's impossible for me to play on that boys basketball team now, and I'm sad because all my friends who are super excited, all of us are excited to play together, and we can't.
Lakers family still trying to figure out what to do next. Hopeful the school will recognize the error that was made is an error they say they fixed. Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
We have had adversity hit us since we've been here, since I've been here. And we are in it now, right? And there's only one way to kind of flip the narrative.
That one way is focused on one word.
Just doing a little bit more, the whole Latin phrase, magis, you know, Michael and I talk about it all the time. Like, yeah, do a little bit more.
The mantra is magis, and the Cardinals need magic. Their playoff hopes now relying on a miracle.
We're going to put our best foot forward, put all the energy and effort into flipping it.
Gannon says he'll do a deep dive into all aspects. Changes could be coming.
Take a little bit of a pause and look at what we're doing, yeah.
But Kyler Murray's status as the starter is the exception.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Gannon's messaging hasn't changed much either. This is what he said 2 weeks ago.
If we didn't have the right people in the locker room, I would be on red alert.
And this is what he said Monday.
If we didn't have good team first, good dudes, high football character guys, team first guys, I'll tell you flat out, we'd be in trouble.
Gannon sounding like a broken record with a 2-5 record, the breaking point.
You got to take a critical look at what you're doing yourself and see where you can impact the team and impact winning and losing more.
Gannon wouldn't give a direct answer if his team will have the week completely off or not. Some players will stay in town for treatment. Others will be excused until next week. One thing on everyone's plate, a long look over the tape and an even longer look in the mirror. Gannon wants his team to reflect and then reset during the bye week. In Tempe, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
Coming up, a Valley man's life hangs in the balance and his sister holds the key. So why is this life-saving transplant on hold? The urgent push to make it happen.
When we first spoke with Quinn Goodman in July, the 28-year-old was fighting a difficult battle after being diagnosed with a rare liver cancer in 2022.
I'll be having a terrible day, and I'll walk out and go on a walk and see the pinks and the oranges of the sunset and see birds on the wall. And for that little moment, it's all worth it.
He has since gone through every procedure imaginable, which has taken a toll on his liver.
It's been really inspirational to watch him because he just keeps going. He's not ready to be done with life.
Now, 3 months later, that battle continues. On Sunday, he was admitted to the hospital after a setback.
He doesn't understand what day it is. He doesn't understand what month it is. It's called hyperammonia, but get that ammonia back down. And it's basically where your liver isn't processing all the toxins that are in your body. And so instead of the toxins going out of your body, they go up to your brain.
The solution's a new liver.
So he needs a transplant yesterday. And he needed a transplant a year ago. He needed a transplant a year and a half ago. And we've been going down different routes to be able to get him a transplant. And it has been really difficult because there's just been lots and lots of obstacles.
Mainly paying for it, because even with the donor, who's his sister, and surgical team at the ready, health insurance won't cover the transplant. The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center telling Quinn $295,000 is needed up front to schedule it.
Since July, we've raised $204,000.
How does that feel?
Amazing. Like every morning I wake up and I look and see our community has really stepped up.
I feel like I don't have words enough for all of the gratitude that I feel towards people because I definitely know this isn't a normal situation.
Quinn's younger sister and donor Annie grateful. She'll never forget the moment Quinn's journey began.
I feel like it changed our family. I feel like I don't really remember our family before that moment, honestly.
She watched him fight tirelessly, so giving him what he needs to live, she says, is a no-brainer.
I feel like I don't tell him that enough either. I probably should tell him more, how tough and strong he is. But yeah, I would say when I get that call, that's probably what I'll think about. Like, that's what'll get me through, is just the ability that he has to change from it.
The hospital says the surgery can be done as soon as Halloween.
I just want to get him to a place where he can finally rest.
And with $90,000 to go, his family hanging on to immense hope. The money will be raised, giving Quinn another chance at life. Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
Well, if you're an Ozzy fan and looking for a way to celebrate Halloween, no more tears for you, because Billy Gonzalez has found a way to pay respect to the godfather of metal.
What was your reaction to finding out that Ozzy Osbourne had passed away?
Shock and heartbreak. I still get a little choked up.
But no more tears for this Ozzy Osbourne fan, because Billy Gonzalez is a dreamer and found a way to honor the Prince of Darkness by lighting up his front yard.
How did you come up with this idea?
To be honest with you, I did see somebody dress up a skeleton in Ozzy, but they didn't really decorate it for Halloween. So I said, you know what, we really need to go ahead and just make that happen. Just get an Ozzy Halloween.
He was paranoid at first, wondering how he could find a way to pay tribute to the heavy metal icon who passed away in July at the age of 76.
We've got the iconic hair.
Then came the idea for the skeleton.
The iconic sunglasses. And of course, it wouldn't be Ozzy without the cross.
Then the fans rocking out from the grave.
They were just normal shaped hands like so. And then we just went ahead and cut off these fingers, cut that right there, and now we got a bunch of horns hanging out of the ground.
Even a nod to the infamous bat.
He's got his bat in his hand. Who knows, maybe he'll get a little hungry closer we get to Halloween.
And of course, he had to include Sharon.
I know that she's alive and well, but, you know, to go from a tribute and to add just that little bit of love story to there.
Gonzalez says Osbourne's larger-than-life personality and impact on heavy metal music will live far beyond this electric funeral he's created.
This will absolutely become a tradition for our family.
His message to the Valley: hop on the crazy train.
And I hope to see more Ozzy Halloweens throughout Phoenix, throughout the nation, to be honest with you.
We're in North Phoenix. Bianca Bono, 12 News. On Saturday at Phoenix's Papago Park, dancers from a Scottsdale studio posing for pictures.
What's the name of your dance team?
Center Stage! But also taking center stage, the mosquitoes flying around their photo shoot.
I'm allergic to them, and so when I get bites, they're all in my backyard, and they swell up.
And they're not alone. Recent record rainfall has led to increased mosquito activity across the valley.
We're definitely experiencing the throes of it right now.
Dr. Gary Kirklis is a pediatrician at Phoenix Children's Hospital. He's been seeing a higher number of parents coming in with concerns about mosquito bites on their kids.
I see quite a bit of parents coming in, particularly with mosquito bites that are quite large, where they're red, where the concern is possibly an infection.
And when the number of mosquitoes goes up, so does the risk of West Nile. Maricopa County data shows that so far this year, there have been 146 mosquito samples that have tested positive for the virus, compared to just 48 in all of 2024. But other infections are possible too. Dr. Kirklis says some children have hypersensitive reactions within a couple of hours of getting bit. But it's when a small bite begins to grow in size over the course of a few days that you should see a doctor.
The red flags would be is if you know that perhaps you went outdoors 2 or 3 days ago, and those mosquito bites are now getting very angry and red. That would be a sign that perhaps some bacteria got into the broken skin and caused a bacterial infection.
He says picaridin and lemongrass oil are good DEET-free prevention options, but says DEET is the gold standard.
We've had decades worth of information that it is safe.
Fishing around dusk, Che Roderos of Mesa has a front row seat to the mosquitoes.
Obviously, when the water goes up, I think, especially after all the floods that have been happening, I think we're gonna get a lot more mosquitoes.
While he too is bothered by the pests, he says there is a silver lining to their valley takeover.
We enjoy that as fishermen because it's called like a hatch, because now you'll see fish come out to the top trying to eat the mosquitoes.
Weekdays on 12 News.
Let's do this thing. Hello.
Watch Tram Mai and Troy Hayden on 12 News at 4.
You're going to be hearing a lot about this.
Then it's Caribe Divine and Troy on 12 News at 5, followed by Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine for 12 News at 6 and 10.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Weekdays, right here on 12 News and streaming on 12 Plus.
There's no other station that I would want to work for besides 12 News. Everything about it, production value, the journalistic integrity, so I'm ready.
That's why we're thrilled to have you with us.
It was crazy.
This Gilbert neighborhood woke up to flashing lights Monday morning after a police chase came to an abrupt stop on their block.
It was the driver who brought the police to my doorstep. He could have gone anywhere.
But the suspected driver, or rather his age, is what took people living here by surprise.
How does a parent not know where the 13-year-old is at night?
Gilbert police say a 13-year-old boy admitted to taking his mom's Chevy Tahoe out for a ride last night without permission. He first popped up on police radar after Mesa's air unit allegedly clocked the car going more than 80 miles per hour down residential streets near Higley and Elliott Roads. On the ground, officers unsuccessfully tried to stop the car several times. Then officers witnessed the driver allegedly back into a railing at a business near Cooper and Baseline Roads. At one point, a passenger was seen getting out of the car and running away. The teen driver eventually came to a stop in Morrison Ranch near Wrecker and Warner Roads. He initially appeared to ditch the car and hide in a backyard.
Helicopter was out. I was wondering why I kept seeing the light coming through my bedroom window, but I thought the light was kind of just flashing everywhere. I didn't know it was they're doing that because it was specific to my backyard.
The teen eventually walked back out to the car and was arrested by officers.
They were had flashlights, searching around for firearms if you dropped them, and it was so crazy they sent out a helicopter.
Neighbors here say they're thankful no one was hurt and no property was damaged.
Hard to believe it was right in front of my house, and again, such a nice neighborhood in Morrison Ranch.
This is what Tempe Tavern near Arizona State University looked like on a Thursday night in April. The problem, Tempe police say, is many of the people at the bar were under 21. According to the investigation report by the State Department of Liquor Licenses and Control, investigators made contact and arrested 174 minors who were at the bar. All faced various violations, including minors in possession of alcohol and presenting fake IDs. A problem Lieutenant Luis Zamudio with the Department of Liquor says is becoming more common.
It's very tough sometimes to really detect them. That's how good they are.
Tempe police showed us some have actual barcodes that can be scanned, but that doesn't mean it's real or undetectable, which is why Tempe Tavern was cited for accepting fake IDs, failure to protect the safety of patrons, and more. The report says in one case, the bar accepted a paper Arizona driver's license and a New Zealand driver's license. Now Tempe Tavern, in a statement on social media, said they did scan all the IDs that night, and the report confirms this. But it adds the high number of underage individuals and the acceptance of unauthorized identification indicate a significant failure by the establishment. It also said Tempe Tavern has done this before. 2 months ahead of this bust, there was another in February where the liquor department conducted a covert operation that ended with the arrest of 2 Tempe Tavern employees for giving alcohol to minors, failing to follow ID procedures, and accepting unauthorized IDs. Now the liquor department just received a $112,000 federal grant that Zamudio says will go toward undercover operations and prevention, not only for minors, but to bars to make sure this doesn't happen to them.
We want to work with the establishments and get them to understand the importance of this so we don't get any of consequences, not only to the state, to the establishments, but to these young youth.
When I was a baby, I had a little phone where was for playing for a baby.
Toys are something that mean a lot to 5-year-old Eduardo.
And I had a little pumpkin for me to play with.
When he was just 3.5 years old, he came up with a special idea.
I was collecting my Batman toys and moved on to Transformers.
But his mom, Victoria, says they weren't all for him.
He wanted to collect toys for his friends.
Eduardo, who was adopted as a baby, wanted these brand new toys to go to foster kids.
The toy drive is for the kids who don't have toys.
It's Eduardo's kindest toy drive.
High five. Right now, Eduardo's collecting money and new toys to put together kindness backpacks that include a backpack, blanket, and a toy or soft stuffed animal, all for his friends in foster care to call their own.
Both of my kiddos are from foster care, and we just noticed that a lot of their foster friends didn't have, basically toys are the basic needs, especially when they're going home.
Victoria remembers the day Eduardo first arrived at 10 days old.
Eduardo came to us at our door with a trash bag and 2 bottles, and his caseworker said, hey, his last feeding was at 3 o'clock and his next feeding is this, and basically that's it.
And it was a similar situation with Eduardo's little sister. With such limited resources provided for foster kids,
just having him understand our friends don't have what he has was really warming to me.
Knowing these toys will go to kids in need means so much, all because of a 5-year-old little boy's human kindness.
That's the message that I want him to have always.
They started this year's toy drive once again last month, and they plan to keep collecting new toys and money to go toward even more toys through the end of November.
Last year we collected about 150, but there's about 400 friends that are at that agency.
Victoria wants the kids receiving these toys to know they're thought about.
And that they belong and, they're important.
So far, Eduardo's raised $300 toward his $450 goal. He has a shout out to those who have donated.
Thanks for all your donations.
Trisha Hendricks, 12 News.
Thanks everyone for watching. New episodes of 12 News Weekend premiere every Friday on 12+. You can also watch past episodes on the app. It's easy. Just download 12+ for your Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku, and you can watch for free. I'm Caribe Divine. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.
This weather is why we live here. But winter storms impact the whole state.
12 News Weather Impact keeps you safe and ready on Weather Impact Alert Days. When roads turn icy,
when those snowy trails call, if your flight could be delayed,
or when cold, rainy days impact your commute.
Stay safe on those Weather Impact Alert Days.
12 News Weather Impact in every newscast and streaming on 12+.